Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Before we dive into today's episode, we want to simply say thank you for your support. For season 2, we're running a couple giveaways and we'll be selecting a couple of you to win some No Snooze merch, some products over at Orgain.com, or a $50 Amazon gift card. If you enjoy the podcast and find value in what we're doing, all you have to do is subscribe to us, leave us a 5-star review on Apple, and DM us on Instagram at No Snooze Podcast, letting us know you've entered the giveaway. Thanks to all of you, the No Snooze Podcast is climbing the charts and we're well on our way to spreading this message to the masses. Enjoy today's episode. Mike, open us up.
And we're here, season 2, No Snooze. We're here at Greenwich MMA. Thank you for our guest and host of the kickoff show for the interviews.
Yes. What up?
Who are we talking to today?
So we are welcoming Kastriot Xhema, professional MMA fighter, great friend of ours, and now very successful business owner right here in Greenwich, Connecticut. Kastriot Xhema, welcome to the pod, my brother.
And welcome to Greenwich MMA.
There you go. There you go.
And Kos, you going to tell everyone how we taught you how to fight?
Yeah, especially you, man. I see. I almost cursed already.
That's all right.
That's how you got.
We have a
Wait,
a
we
little
forgot.
thing.
We forgot. We got a special guest here as well.
We have our
Goofy
first
Dree.
audience member eating an apple in the background. So if you hear anyone chomping away, that's Kastriot Xhema, spelled with an X, not a D.
That's right. That's right. And Dree is Kastriot's brother. We've all been part of the same circle for a really long time. So Kastriot, we like to start from the beginning, and here at the No Snooze Podcast, it's more of a lifestyle, not procrastinating on life, which is exactly what you've done. You've come up, as we'll talk about, through a lot of adversity to get to where you are today. So can you take us back to, I guess, the early years of young Kos? Give us, a little bit about your family background and how you grew up.
PG version, too.
PG version. Yes. All right. Well, for the most part, I think I got a pretty normal family. Yeah. We all could say, right?
Absolutely.
Good
best
parents.
family.
Yeah, good parents, brothers, sisters. I was just a little hothead, so.
Yep.
A little.
From a background standpoint, Kastriot and his family are from where?
Kosovo.
And your parents, your parents came to this country as immigrants back, 30 years ago now?
33? How old are you? Because they were born over there. Then me and my little brother were born here. So 31, 32 years ago.
And something that I noticed personally, obviously being Americanized, there's a certain level of a work ethic that you see with immigrant families when they obviously come to America. So was there like a work ethic that was instilled in you early, you and your siblings? I mean, from what I know, clearly there was. But how did you grow up like that early?
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. I was like, 12 years old going to work with my dad. My dad, he works for my uncle's company, my uncle also is like one of the biggest builders around.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I've been pretty much working and active my whole life.
And
what were you doing when you were working at 12?
I mean, when I was 12, I wasn't really doing much. When I hit 14, I was doing like the masonry. I'd be painting.
Nice.
Yep.
Instead of going to school, that's what I was doing.
All right.
Right.
Well, at least you're doing something. Yeah.
That's where I was going next. So coming up, did you not like school? Did you like school? Where did you channel that energy? Because, again, I know it, Mike knows it, but when you got to explain it and see, was it through sports that you chose that route? Obviously it turned out to be fighting, but how was education for you?
I liked school. I just couldn't really focus. I couldn't be in a big group. So I ended
in the classroom setting?
So I ended up going to an alternative school where I'd have 4 kids in the class, and it worked out a lot better.
Yeah, because you're getting an extra level of detail, I guess, in a learning environment.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you were hot-headed, when you were younger. Did it always turn into fighting? Like, did you always like to fight? Was that always something in your blood?
Yeah.
And was it because you were fighting with your brother mainly to start?
We never fought. I'm pretty sure we always got along. We getting stupid arguments here and there, but for the most part, we got along. I never fought with any of my brothers, my sisters, nobody.
So where do you think that came from? Did you watch, like, were you a Tyson fan? Like, was there any influence that you remember where you're like, oh, that person's a fighter, I like that, I want to crack heads?
No, I don't.
Really?
I really
Me
don't
too.
even know.
I just always
I don't know where it came from.
It's
but
always the natural.
Yeah, just love
what
hitting
about
people.
So adding on to what Mike just said about the passion, though, there had to be a point that you realized, okay, one, I'm getting into fights all the time when I'm younger.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna go in the right direction in terms of a future. When did you realize that, wow, okay, instead of me fighting and getting into trouble, I can fight and, it can become a business.
And let me clear it up before you start talking. We're not glorifying fighting. We're just interested because now you've leveraged it and made it into a positive.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people don't do. So now you can look back and kind of giggle because it was all stepping stones.
Yeah. I think it was like 2 or 3 years into my second prison bid. My best friend, Ambrose Castellana, he just randomly brought it up. He started doing mixed martial arts in the gym in Fairfield. And he was like, dude, you should really, come out and try to do it. He's like, you're always going to jail for it. All the money on legal fees, you might as well start trying to make it.
It's a great
Ambrose
point.
Is the ripped up one?
Yeah.
That's Ambrose?
Yeah.
And he had his whole weight loss stuff too, right?
Yeah, he's like probably one of the biggest trainers in town.
He's ripped up.
He's huge.
Yeah.
No, shout out to Ambrose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kastriot ended up going to prison. You said that was your second.
My second bid.
Your second bid when you realized it.
Yeah.
That you know what, I can channel this energy somewhere else.
Yeah.
But what was it that then clicked for you? Now you're in prison, and you were young, right? How old were you?
I was in for 17 to like 22.
Right. So obviously extremely young, and you still had a major. You had a decision to make. Am I going to make a future for myself, or is this going to be the future? So when did you take that fighting, that fighting mindset and say, you know what, I need to focus on that to get out, to make sure I never go back to prison? Did that happen?
Yeah, like when Ambrose said, do this, was it in like right away? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, I always thought about it. I just needed that extra push, and he gave it to me. Yeah. So when I came home, because I did my second bid, I did in New York. So when I came home, I went straight to a halfway house.
Okay.
In New Rochelle, and he gave me the address, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just going.
And what'd you do when you went to that first session? Were you like immediately throwing?
I went in there. I was like, yo, I'm trying to go pro, and they laughed at me.
I love that though.
I don't know how much you talk about this, but I'm gonna go there. So when we were younger, it always seemed to me, looking back now, it's clear that there were some anger issues that were deep inside of you. Did you go through any anger management? Did the fighting help you to channel your anger to something to where you were like, you know what, I'm going to use it now as a hobby and a sport to ultimately become a business? Because before, I think it was more like reactive. How did you deal with that?
Well, when I used to fight, it was a mixture of things. A lot of it was anger. I think it was also loyalty that I had to like friends.
A lot of people.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, I'm like, I'm basically the fucking mayor of Greenwich, man. I know everybody. Everybody calls me for everything, right? So it's like, that's how I ended up going to prison. I got a phone call at like 2 o'clock in the morning. This dude got jumped at a party, so I went down there. But as far as turning into a business, I don't know, man. I used to go to Revolution. It definitely was an anger management thing. Mm-hmm. The courts sent me there.
Right.
And I was staying out of trouble. Like, I was on house arrest at the time. The only thing I was allowed to do was go to school and go box. And that's what I did. I'd spend hours there.
Did you, because I know for us, we have different interests. When you apply that energy, like when I'm upset and I even work out, my stress level then comes down. Is it the same thing that when you're fighting? Yeah. And I'm talking about in a good fighting environment now. But did you see that, okay, now I can walk around and my stress level's down because I'm actually channeling that energy, in a good way?
Yeah,
instead of beating people up.
Yeah, definite.
On the street.
I mean, yeah. Right? Just listen. I don't even have to be like sparring or doing any of that. I could go just hit the fucking bag.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just hitting something just helps.
Right.
And it really helps.
Do you ever look back and you're like, I can't believe I was doing all that stuff?
Nah. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. I could still be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That was me. That's just me.
Yeah.
I could. I just choose not to. There's a lot more to life than just sitting inside a cell just around dudes.
But do you, because by all stretch of any measurement, you're successful now, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever look back and you're like, I can't believe I came this far this fast?
Because
I mean, it's been
no,
pretty
not really.
fast. How old are you right now?
28.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah. No, honestly, not really. I expected all of this, and I expect way more. The thing is this: look, it's like it's just a matter of if you want to change or not, and that's why I tell everybody. Yeah. I could sit here and preach all this positive, but if you don't want to do it, you ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, the action.
You know what I mean?
And when you went into the place and you're like, I want to go pro, what in your head? Have you always been like, I'm going to do something big with something? I just don't know what it is?
Yeah.
Or were you just blind confidence?
I mean, I think for the most part, and like I said, you guys could probably vouch. We're pretty athletic, the whole family.
I don't know.
I grew up. Dree on the other hand.
I was like, I actually got excited too. I'm like, wow, all right, cool.
I was about to be like, well, 2/3 of us are up here, but you know.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, look, I played, soccer growing up my whole life.
Yeah, but did you think you were going to go pro?
Tell the people, look into the camera, tell them you've never beaten Dave Regina in basketball.
Don't look at me.
I've almost beaten somebody up for Dave Regina.
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny though? He was always naturally very good at basketball. Yeah, right. Yeah. Whether he wants to say it or not, but
Kobe,
you had
rest
something.
In peace.
What?
I said Kobe, rest in peace.
That's right, absolutely.
Who was the best basketball player out of the family? 3 of you. Go right now. Order. Dree has to be one.
Jimmy,
obviously, if we're going in order, right? There's 3 of us, right?
Yeah. Youngest brother,
all
Jimbo,
right, so
for sure.
Jimmy is definitely the best, and I would say me, and then him right after.
Wow.
You know what it is, though? I'm not a better basketball player. I'm just
you pick
more,
up on things.
Here's
very
the thing,
quickly.
though. I'm just more athletic.
See, you have,
and I grind harder than him. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that's what it really comes down to. And I think that's the same thing with fighting.
Yes,
you know what I mean? The reason why, if I win, it's like the guys I've beaten, right? They're really good guys.
Yeah,
they're probably technically better than me, but just I want it more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I don't mean to jump around. I've never had such anxiety than watching your fights. Like when we were in that little place for one of his first fights.
Yes.
Remember that little club? Yep. One of my favorite events.
That was down in Queens.
Of all time.
I don't know if you remember.
Astoria.
Yes. Yeah, that was in Queens. Yeah.
And we walk in.
That was an amateur fight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my first amateur fight. Yeah.
That was walking in the. I think that made me like MMA was just the electricness in there. You're like, wow, these people are about to fight. That's just basically a tabletop in the middle of the dance floor that they're fighting on.
Yeah. Yes.
And people are like getting bottles and stuff. That was awesome.
Yeah.
To add on to what Mike is saying, so there's a great interview with you that I love. And I know we feel it when you fight. Like, we are nervous.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a fighter, I know you're going to tell me you're not nervous when you fight. But something that was interesting that I read about Kastriot, the only time that he actually gets nervous is when he sees his teammates fight.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think that says a lot about you as a person, because people look at you and they're like, all right, he's got all these tattoos. He's got a beard. He's got this great ponytail going on. You look intimidating.
What a teddy bear.
You look intimidating, but at your core, you're a sensitive guy.
You look kind of crazy too when you're cutting weight. When you're real, you look like
bad,
you look
right?
nuts, and your hair's not pulled
sick.
back.
Wait,
Dana
go
was
ahead.
like, "Is that Kos?" Sorry.
Answer what I just kind of threw at you.
All right, so a lot of people actually do get nervous in fights.
Yep.
The reason why I don't is because, dude, like, I've suffered a loss, so I don't ever have to worry about a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fought fucking guys 6'5" on the streets. 300 pounds, 200. It don't. So none of that matters to me. There's nothing anyone has. You're
not scared to fight.
It's just a good. I get to go out there and just have fun.
But what changes when you see people that are on your team?
I know the damage you can get from fighting. So when I go see somebody that I care about, I mean, think about this. Look, dude, I've had eye surgery. I broke my eye socket. I've had neck surgery. I got my neck fused. I broke both my hands. I broke my shin. I broke my foot. It's all painful shit. So it's like, I don't want none of that to happen to, you know what I mean? To anyone I care about.
Yep.
I know I can deal with pain easy. It doesn't faze me at all, but I still don't want anyone I care about to feel that. Yeah.
And when you watched, you watched your high level teammates, Sterling, Sterling?
Yeah.
Aljo? When he fights, and do you go to the actual fight? He was in, was it Fight Island he was fighting?
Yeah.
Do you get just as nervous when you're watching from home? I get anxiety watching it on TV, and I don't know.
Honestly, dude, like there's like a few people, man. I can't even fucking sit there and watch them.
Why? Because you get so nervous?
Yeah, it's like I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's
like, dude, Aljo's a fucking beast. Nobody could beat that guy. I'm telling you.
So
like, you can't be. Yeah,
well, he's next in line.
No, I'm
right?
saying, yo, you can't really be. I would. Nah, not with him. But like.
But the reason I'm asking is because there's a correlation between like opponents in fighting and then opponents in like life and business. Do you feel because you're in such a high stress, high level, like there's real consequences, you get knocked out if you lose, then when you get into the business world and you're negotiating, you're like, they're not going to punch me in the face, so who cares?
Yeah,
you have like
apply
this
the
carefree
same focus.
Yeah, you have like a carefree approach because you've been punched in the face.
Right.
So it's like we're negotiating a real estate deal, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt you. You know, like what can I do?
What you mean? You can fuck your money up, man. You can fuck somebody's money up,
do you
really.
That's good. Do you get more nervous in real estate deals? Or not real estate, just business deals in general?
Yeah, because I feel like in fighting, I have full control of everything that's happening.
Wow.
Nice.
Something like that, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You're dealing with other people. Like,
yeah.
I can't force you to buy this for X amount of dollars.
You can't put me in a headlock and make me buy it.
Yeah,
so that's true. I never thought of it that way.
I can't say, yo, I know you got 50 fucking mil. Just, buy this shit for a mil. You can't do it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could, but you can't. You can't. You know.
One thing, Kaz is being very, very humble on the podcast. On the podcast, doesn't like talking about himself, but
on camera before he was telling us big stuff.
One thing that I really envy about you is when I first pulled. I think it was one of the Mohegan fights that we went to, and we actually saw a crazy amount of Greenwich police officers.
Oh yeah,
who used to arrest this guy over and over and over again. And then he changed so much to where now these guys are actually coming out, and women, coming out to support what you're doing professionally. I think that says a lot about the individual, because that doesn't happen all the time. So what is your, how do you look at that, seeing police officers at your fight that used to arrest you?
I'm a fucking cool dude, man. What you expect? No, really.
We got ourselves a Conor McGregor.
Just was saying he was humble, and then he
honestly, it's cool though. It really is. Listen, it's not even just cops.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I get like good luck wishes from like the fucking prosecutors that that had my cases.
Right.
One of the times one of the judges was coming to my fight. It's cool. It's definitely cool. I definitely appreciate it. I think everybody's realized the change that I've made.
That's pretty ironic. Like, you get 2 years, you punch someone in the face, and then they're ringside, like, knock them out.
Yeah, it is true. But I'm telling you, and it's something about you that until you get to know who Kastriot Xhema is at his core, you look at him and you're like, he's not a guy that I want to.
He still scares me.
So I just wanted to definitely point that out because because I think that's very interesting. Talking about the trying to shift to the business. How did you highlight, I guess, not being educated in terms of a regular education standpoint, no college or anything like that? How did you make your way into the business world? Was it good people?
It's all just surround myself around good people. I just one of the biggest things I did that got me this far was when I came home, I just stopped messing with all those losers, like I told you in the back, that I used to hang out with. Mm-hmm. They're nowhere. They're still nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I started hanging around a lot of successful people, and I would just listen.
And honestly, if there's one thing that somebody takes away from this interview, it should be that. Kastriot is a perfect example of you are who you hang around. So if you are, like he was saying, if you're hanging around losers, you are more than likely going to be a loser because that's all you see. And that could be in anything in life. So you had to make a real conscious decision where you've been friends with these people for years and years and years. And you were like, you know what? Yes, if we see each other, it's cool. But you know what? I want more from my life. So I'm going to go hang around people that are doing better than I'm doing. And that's a big key right there.
Yeah, that's why I'm around you two right now.
There you go. I have to mention, too, your brother Dritan is also the mayor of town. And
he got Stanford on
connects.
locks. Yeah. He got Stanford. I got Greenwich.
He's the reason I get my haircut with my guy Brian. He's connecting with I don't know how many people. Now knowing you better, you do the same thing. You call me constantly, talk to this guy. So just having that network and working your contacts and just honestly just trying to help out people, I think has gotten you very far. And Dritan very far. And it gets whoever, if you keep people around you happy, you just naturally get happy. You don't want anything from them. You just do a nice gesture.
Yeah.
And there's a saying, your network is your net worth. And it could work in the negative way.
Yeah.
Right? And now that you switched it out,
well, he's
and
seen
you have
both.
Dave as a friend,
He's
you're
seen
set.
Yeah. I am.
Question, don't punch me.
He's also my bodyguard. I don't know if you know this.
What am I?
Yeah.
I'm your consigliere.
Question for you, right, Kaz? So, speaking on law enforcement, obviously you had certain views when you were younger on the men and women that were arresting you. You probably didn't like cops coming up.
I actually did.
You liked them?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, everything I did to myself.
Okay, but this
Were you like, I deserved it?
Like, yo, listen, look, let me tell you, I got arrested twice in one day, all right? I got in a fight.
Wait, but yeah, walk us through that. How did that happen?
I'm laughing.
A lot of bleeps. You're
Yo.
putting TV to work.
Nah, but I got in a fight with a bunch of dudes, and a few hours later, I saw him at like a park. I mean, it was crazy. So his dad was there at this point, and like his dad was like one-on-one fight. I'm like, and I just beat the piss out of him, and I just saw cops come, so I started running. I cut through these yards. I lost my phone, so I see this little kid, and I was like, "Hey, little man, I got a bloody mouth, black eye from earlier," and I'm like, "Hey, little man, can you go get your phone? I just want to call my parents." I didn't put two and two together. I'm like, why isn't he coming back out? All of a sudden, cops came flooding everywhere. It was the street of Rinaldi's over in Cos Cob. I cut through Bible Street. You know where like those stairs are. And I ended up getting arrested again. But what am I going to do? Am I going to blame them?
So it's not. So that's something that you never did. You
Nah,
never
man.
blamed anybody else for your.
No, dude. I know what the hell. I know what the f- doing.
Good.
Every time I was getting, like, I would know if I'm getting arrested.
Yep.
Look, every time I had like my own personal issue, if I wanted to get the dude, I just put it in my head, yo, you're going to jail, so get ready.
Yep.
And that's why I was fine with it.
And you wore that. So, and the reason why I ask is because obviously your brother is in law enforcement, so it's kind of an ironic thing.
I'm waiting for the day that he locks me up.
that would never happen. Never happen anymore.
Yeah, I just saw Dree drove by. I think Kaz was in the back.
that would be a scene. But even his brother, man, like he was so persistent in a career in law enforcement. I mean, and I think that is something in terms of the family. Like when you guys want something, you go and you get it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. There could be many obstacles in the way, which is very clear. We're sitting in your gym right now.
Say that again.
Greenwich MMA.
That's right. And honestly, how does it feel to be in a position like that? Like you listen to Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah.
And Conor always says like he was visualizing things. He would visualize it over and over and over again. And I believe that to be true, but I also add on the word action to all of that. Yeah. What is your take on, the visualization piece and kind of manifesting, success to happen in your life?
I mean, listen, I've been talking about this for a year now. I think I remember coming to your job.
Yep.
And speaking to you about this, like,
yes.
About a year ago, maybe a little less.
Yep.
I mean, and look, a year later, I was still going after, and I still finally
and you
did
never
it.
stopped.
Yeah, and I'm still not gonna stop. This is nothing. This is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, I've dreamed about doing it. This people will say they'll call it work. I don't call this work. I'm learning here. Whether I'm holding pads for people, I get the opportunity to see different styles of how people fight. How they throw punches, kicks. I mean, we put combos together. So it's like every day I'm learning.
And you see people progress, which has got to be awesome.
Oh, man. Besides like the weight loss, like I just got some cool clients, man.
Do you have an end game in mind of like you're here this year, like by this age I want to be here, or, this is the size gym I want? Do you have anything like that you're going for? And if it's absurd, you could say it because now it's on camera.
You know what it is? It's not about like the size of the gym or any of that. It's like I just no matter how big. Let me tell you something. If I can say right now, by the age of 30, I need a house. Well, guess what? When I'm 30, I want 2 houses. You know,
Right.
I'm always gonna want to.
Want more.
It's like,
Yeah,
like, yo, I forgot the guy's name, man, but it was on Instagram, and he was just, talking about himself, see himself 5 years from now.
Dave Reg?
He was like, no, but he was just like, who's his like, he's like my only
Mentor?
what is it? No. He was just
Goal?
like, the person I'm going against is myself 10 years from now.
Okay, so his only opponent
Yeah,
really
that's
is,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
He's like, me 10 years from now. That's my opponent, and that's who I'm trying to beat. And I kind of was just like, yo, man.
So
this
where are
guy-
you here? Where are you 5 years from now? What are you competing with?
I don't know. Hopefully, we all ride around Lambos together.
Oh, it's
you know what I mean?
I don't think I can
Nah,
fit in a
who-
Lambo. I got to lose a couple.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't got one. Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't fit yet.
No, I don't know. Honestly, man, like, I'm 28 now. Hopefully I'll be, on the same boat as you guys with a kid.
Wow.
But one step at a time. I mean, I think first is my older brother. He's got to get ready to get that going.
Wow.
You
Wants to
know,
be another one.
I don't know, man. I take it, day
by
by
day.
day.
That's fair.
I was just
Fair.
gonna add to that. So you have people who always lead with their accomplishments, like in any conversation. Oh, I used to do this really well. I used to do this. Or you have the people that like really focus on the future, 5, 10, 20 years out, whatever, and that's all cool. But for me, I like to do exactly what you're saying, and the same thing with Mike as well. And we see it now with the birth of our daughters, living in the moment and trying to be better. I have a goal every day when I wake up. I just want to be 1% better than I was the day before, and that is just in one thing. Do you look at the now and try to
Just enjoy it.
Yes,
Dude, think about this. I closed my lease March 1st. And that got shut down before I could even open.
right, because of
COVID.
COVID-19.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like,
Yep.
you can't think about the future to that extent.
Right.
Somewhat you can.
Wow. You just brought up something good that honestly a lot of people will never be able to relate to. You opened a business in the middle, at the beginning.
You started
the
it.
beginning
Shit.
of a COVID-19 pandemic. Because obviously when this comes out, people might catch it later on. So this is right in 2020 right now, and COVID-19 is global. How you as a business owner, how were you able to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to get through this, and now here we are in July, almost in August, and things just happen to get better and better. But was that tough to sit in for a minute?
Yeah, it was. But like I said, I mean, I was pretty confident I was going to be fine. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. I'm grateful that I live in Greenwich, right? There's a lot of good people here. I got a lot of support.
Great real estate.
Great real estate, Mike. The thing is this, like,
My guy.
I never wanted to opening up a gym wasn't really about, just making money, right? I always said I was going to do something affordable. I always want, because I remember being a young kid.
What does that mean? What does affordable mean?
Here's the thing, people.
Like, what does that mean? Like,
People see Greenwich and they think they could just shoot up to like,
yep.
you know what I mean, charging X amount of dollars
Right.
a class or an hour or 30. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's nuts to me. I never want to do that. So what I do is I put these crazy cheap prices, and guess what? Like, I'm the best around. You got people that hold pads charging $100 an hour, $90 for half hour, whatever the hell the case. Guess what, man? You come here, you do 30 minutes, it's $25.
Right.
It's $20. That's
every
it. And you know what it
success
is, dude?
story starts like this.
And
though.
guess what? You ain't gonna get no better around here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. So,
And to Dave's point, I saw on your board it said COVID specials, which you took a negative and then made it a brand and a positive.
because we're all going through it together, right?
Yeah, you're like,
Guess what? I couldn't make any money for how many months?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's still tough.
Right. Of course. So just to now, I like to recap, the lessons here, but every real success story that, I can relate this to is exactly what you're saying. You have to be willing to take your passion and almost do it for free just because you love it. And then eventually
Yo, do the right thing.
this will get
That's it.
so big that you will be, the prices will just go up on their own. But you're willing to put the work in for dirt cheap because you're so passionate about it. And like you said, you don't call it work. So that is something, what? It's not work. That's what I'm saying. But that is something that so many people, they miss. And yeah, he might have these prices, for, however long, but it's his passion that drives him to, in my eyes, become, successful to where you can't even fathom where you're going.
Dude, I got clients telling me I'm crazy for having prices like this.
Which is good.
You know
which is good. Yeah.
But like I said, listen, you do the right thing. If it actually comes from like a good place, you'll be fine. That's why I tell everybody I'm not worried about it. I knew I wasn't going to ever fail. I know I'm never going to fail. The only way I'll stop running this place is if I choose to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I actually do believe as long as you do good things and it comes from a good place, you'll get that in return. That's why I hate people that are fucking money hungry. Mike,
don't look at me.
both of us at the end of the day. I mean, Mike
it's
and I.
different though. It's different.
Yes,
you're not money hungry because you're trying to get those big fat chains anymore, Dave.
Right.
Like, you got a kid now, and I mean, like,
I'm gonna
you
chalk
gotta
up that side eye you did to me because it's an awkward angle and not.
I had neck surgery.
Dude.
I had neck surgery,
and he's got the boom arm in his face. I see him trying to navigate the boom arm.
Yo, I had neck surgery. I lost like 30%.
Yeah,
that's crazy, and you're still fighting. So yes, I think that's very important. Is taking your passion and be willing to really do it for free, and then look what comes of it.
Yeah. You kept it simple. You saw a need. You said people charge too much. I'm going to do a good job and charge less.
And now he has no time because he's booked.
What I mean? I'm shocked he had time for us. He's big time now.
I know. What am I thinking?
We had to bribe him with coffee.
Right.
He didn't even drink it.
Also, so I think it ties in nicely here. Somebody who wants to, Mike and I, we don't like to do the advice thing, right? We try to speak through our experience and our actions, right? Somebody who wants to start a business of some sort, doesn't have the, educational, your typical education. What is the one thing that you would tell that individual from your experiences?
Oh, man. I mean, look, like I said, I was fortunate enough to having good people around me, right? So it's hard to say. If you don't have good people around you, guess what? You got a fucking phone. Go do research.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Go look into things.
Yep.
Learn a little. Anybody could learn. They're too impatient. And look how long it took me. Like I said, a year ago I came to you, right?
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
right?
It's in the grand scheme of things, it's very quick, but it is still a year process. And
but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though.
Day.
It was a year once I got ready to speak about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? By the time I put the whole, the
proposal together,
and everything together, I don't even know how long it was.
Right.
And then I had to wait until the time that I was ready to get it going. Because everybody kept saying, yo, open up a gym, I'll come. And it's like, nah, man, I'm sticking to fighting. I'll open up a gym when I'm ready to do it.
Right.
But yeah, no, like I would say, look, if you're lucky enough to have good people around you, listen. Don't act like you know everything. That's why I'll just shut my mouth, man. Just listen.
I've never heard you shut your mouth.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
But yes, in business, no, you're spot on.
That's something.
Here either.
Nah,
so
man.
you can listen pretty good. Just saying. Notice that from the angle.
I hate this dude. No, but yeah. So just listen. Like I said, I mean, just do research.
Yeah.
And then when you actually, you gotta be patient. And then when you're ready, just go after it.
And is it a certain level of resiliency and persistence to where, like, when things happen? Because I'm sure this wasn't a smooth road, right?
Oh, hell no,
to
it was.
get here.
Yo, ask my brother how many times he told me not to do it.
Yep. I'm sure. No, I get it.
You know what I mean? A lot of people told me not to do it.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yep. But you have to be willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
It's not just like,
I was ready.
I don't care.
I was ready to put the work in.
Right. And that's what you did. And that's what you did.
Nobody can tell me when I'm ready except for myself, unless you're lying to yourself about it. But I knew I was ready. Look, I said I was gonna go pro. I went pro. I went pro after one AMI fight.
Yep.
People don't be doing that shit.
One AMI?
Yeah. That's no snooze lingo right there. We add Y's, instead of episodes, we call them epis.
Yeah.
So AMI fights. I like that. That's nice, guys.
Nice and brief.
But so usually they'll try to, get experience and all that shit. They'll have 10, 15 fights before they go pro.
Yeah.
I said, nah, I'm good. I don't got time to waste.
What you do, and I think a lot of people do that people don't think about, is you talk about it. And just by talking about it, people start to listen. They're like, oh, yeah, I could see that. Then they tell someone that you're thinking about that, and then you make the connection.
I don't mean to go off topic, but
How do I
you
look
gotta,
good?
man, you gotta grow that beard, man.
I've been putting the beard butter, and it's not working.
Nah, fuck. Dave, give him some pointers.
Listen, we're talking about hairstyles. You're in trouble with that ponytail.
Oh man, ladies love it though. Especially in those braids.
Now, so question: we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast. And
it's hard.
Yeah, he's just telling you, talking to the microphone.
I gotta look. I'm not gonna look.
We got a lot of people that listen to the podcast. You know, I mean, you're talking from even some high school kids all the way up to, you know, we got attorneys in Greenwich, attorneys all over the place that are listening. So it's a big scope of people, right? Is there a certain level of professionalism that you have to turn on when you're in your business mode?
To some extent.
To some extent. And the reason why I ask is because I can see a lot of people listening to this, even in the you know, the fighting world, or if they just have a little journey of their own, but they're like stuck on the piece and they're down because they don't have, you know, the typical education like I spoke about. But you're here and you're a walking proof that, you know what, if you have the right mindset and you know how to channel that energy into something positive through a passion of yours, you can be doing the same exact thing with what it is that you like.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I never graduated high school, and if I really wanted to, I could be, you know, chilling in a Lambo by next year if it keeps going the way it's going.
Right.
Why Lambo?
I just like Lambos.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just curious.
Why?
What do you
prefer?
Any car? I would do something real subtle, you know, like a red Ferrari or something. No. I would probably do, honesty, I've been talking about it since I was young, and you can fact check me with Frank. Nope. A minivan would be fire. I would get an old Jag from like the old mafia movies.
Nice.
Like one of those classic 1963 ones.
Yeah.
60.
How was Frank?
Frank's good.
Frank's
He's
good.
a father too.
He got a kid?
Yeah, he's got a son. But Frankie 5, my godson.
Damn. Yo, Dree, what's going on,
He's
huh?
a big dude.
Listen,
Wow,
we're coming up on time frame, and I want to make sure that people, you know, can find you. Obviously, there's, you know, the Instagrams and stuff like that, but specifically, where can people find Kastriot Xhema if they want to, you know, inquire about training with you or just kind of, you know, reaching out to you?
They can either hit me up on Greenwich MMA.
Where's that, on Instagram?
On Instagram, or Team Slaughterhouse 203. I don't really do the whole Twitter, Facebook thing.
Gotcha.
Where's Team Slaughterhouse 203? Is that Instagram?
What'd you just ask me?
Didn't you just say Team Slaughterhouse 203?
Oh, yeah,
Is
that's
that
Instagram.
Instagram
Yeah,
too?
that's my personal Instagram,
Okay.
Good.
And the Greenwich MMA,
Which one do you
it's a business.
prefer?
Dude, it's linked up, so I'll get it regardless.
Yeah, it's both the same.
I'm going to hit you up. And be like,
Question, speaking on that, is there a specific story behind the name Slaughterhouse? So Kastriot goes by the name, you know, the fighting name of Kastriot Slaughterhouse Xhema. Where did that originate from?
So when I was locked up, I actually was beating a lot of dudes up, and all I would ever do is I'd bump Slaughterhouse, the group, you know, with like Joel Ortiz, Joe Budden, you know, Crooked, all those guys, and then just one day somebody called me and it just stuck.
And the name stuck.
Yeah.
You think Mike, like if it was Mike Slaughterhouse Pirelli, that doesn't work, right?
Look at that beard. Of course it doesn't work.
It'd be like Thunder Lips or something. Something.
No, I'm always interested in how fighters, especially, they gravitate towards their name.
That's how that's how I got it. I honestly never even thought of.
Listen, I don't really know
like nicknames.
what.
What would yours be?
I don't know, but it has to do. It would have to be something like you look at him and you hear his name Slaughterhouse and you're kind of like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what.
Dave, shirts don't fit Regina. I would have like 40 different names. Every time I came out, it would be a different name.
That's like him, 10 different ways of shooting.
Yes.
Never
Yes,
shoot the same way.
Dree, always keep them guessing. That's my approach.
That's right. So we're big on, like, you know, obviously we have the whole, I don't like to say it's a positivity push, because for us it's more of a lifestyle. When you realize, you know, you want more in life, that's what the no snooze mindset is all about, which is exactly what you apply to your own life. Is there like, I like, for me, in the morning, I like to read something or, you know, look at like a positive quote to kind of start my day. Are you big on like mantras or like personal things that your family has told you coming up? Is there anything that like sticks out at you that you think about all the time, or no?
Like a picture?
No, nothing.
Nothing. So you just on days that, no, I'm gonna get this out one way or the other because I want to find out for myself. If there's a day that you wake up and you're just not feeling it, but you still know you have to get the job done, how do you keep going?
He looks in the mirror at his own ponytail and gets fired up.
Seriously though, try to answer that. Try to answer that, or you just know that you are. Again? So if there's a day that you're not motivated, right, and you know that you still have to wake up, because at the end of the day,
well, it depends though.
You're so driven.
It depends. Am I in fight camp? Am I not in fight
Doesn't
camp?
matter. Apply it to business or fighting. If there's a day that you don't wake up motivated, how do you get through it?
Do you think to back when you were locked up and you're like, oh, I'm playing with house money now. I have nothing to be, discouraged about. What's the?
I mean, if I think about, if there's days I don't want to be here, I gotta, I put in my head that there are people that are expecting me to, help them either get a healthy lifestyle,
right,
or whatever. If we talk about fighting, it's like, there's plenty of times where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to train. I'm tired.
Yep.
I'm overtraining or whatever. Like, guess what, man? I just envision myself getting knocked down. I'm like, fuck that.
Right. I'm going to the gym.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to the gym.
And because that is something that, again, I like to relate it to anything in life, but I like hearing stories on how people, because clearly we're just not motivated 100% of the time, but how is it that the individual gets through it, which is exactly what I wanted to know.
C4.
Some C4 will get you going for sure. No, but that's good stuff, man.
Part of me is afraid of visualizing negative stuff, though, right?
You gotta.
Right?
You gotta.
I mean, yes, it's motivational, but then you saw yourself get knocked out. So I know it creates a fire, but I'm just expressing that. That's what worries me. Sometimes when I think about stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I should think. It motivates me.
Well, like the reality is, man, you see the size of this head. You can't knock me out.
Yeah, you do have a big head.
I got a big head. My head should be on that body.
His head should be on.
I have a tiny head. Speaking of knockout, is there something? Because obviously all fighters get knocked out. You've been knocked out before, right?
I got TKO'd on an early stoppage.
Okay.
I fell. I got right back up.
Yes. Yeah.
And
we were there.
The ref called. It was some bull.
All right.
I never been like slept or none of that. No.
No. Oh, because
I just got dropped.
When you talk to fighter, or you've knocked somebody out.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
As a fighter, I'm always interested in because you just hear like what happened. They wake up, they're like, what happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there was a way that you can articulate it to something that.
Oh no, no! Listen, like I said,
it.
I got dropped, and I literally I got right back up, and it was just like one of those early stoppage things. You know what I mean? It's like you call it MMA. It's like the ref didn't even allow it to. It was just the stupidest thing ever. I mean, a lot of people thought I slipped. Like, no, I got dropped.
Yep.
I'll tell you, I got dropped, but I was there fully.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
now, I think being a referee in the MMA world is tough too.
I just don't like him.
Well, I'm sure that's
shout out to that ref.
Right. Shout out that ref. That's
I think he listens to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Right. You train for so many weeks, months to gear up for a fight, and it could potentially be over in a matter of seconds. Right? How is that not? I could see a lot of people giving up. Right at that moment, like, wow, I'm so beaten in my own mind because I trained for so long, and whether the fight got stopped or if somebody got knocked out, how do you keep going? Is it strictly passion that keeps you going? Is it a drive? What is it that allows you to keep going after a loss?
I've never experienced that. It's never ended in seconds. So I can't really.
No, but you are realistic. You know that you train for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And in the fight world, it could potentially end in seconds, whether it's happened to you or not. Dude, how do fighters get knocked down like that and still get motivated to go through another fight camp to then fight again?
You can't. That happens, man. That's like freak. You go talk about like that dude Jorge Masvidal's like knockout against what's that dude?
Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Come on, MMA
Come on, man.
fan.
That never happen again. It won't. That's just whatever. Sometimes shit just happens. You can't.
Yep. So you can't get down on it, and
it's a fight game, man.
Right.
Like,
right. It can
anything happens. You just slip up just a tiny bit. You're just toast.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. You just go right back to. Listen, let me tell you something. My first ever loss. I was like, number one, that stupid ref cost that. So I wasn't even that mad. I was mad at myself on how I was fighting prior. I was beating him. I just, I caught him I stunned him like 2 times. What happened was I just wasn't in good shape. I gassed out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like That's why, like, he didn't even hit me with a hard shot. I was just gasped. I could hardly lift up my legs. So I was more mad at myself. So you know what I did?
His accountability is crazy.
Yo, so
like everything you're saying, you always relate it back to yourself, which is dope. It's a really good thing, honestly. So you don't blame anybody else.
Nah, man. So you know what I did? The day after, yeah. Well, that was still some bullshit. Like, I'm a tough dude. I can take punishment. You ain't even give me a chance to get punished a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, the next day I ran 12 miles hard. I just ran from Greenwich to New Canaan. Just did the fucking
Would you take? I just take the merit.
Yeah,
you take the merit.
But no, like, you get what I'm saying. And
yeah,
that's when I was like, you know what, man, I'm never gonna lose from a cardio issue again. Yeah, it's just never gonna happen.
That doesn't happen with everybody, Kosh. Yeah. That's you. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is a perfect example of how you've gotten thus far. And again, I don't think it's anywhere to where you're even going.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NOSNOOZE30. Again, that's NOSNOOZE30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
Being mindful of time, we like to always leave our audience with, just some final words, right? So we go into sections, and this is my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
When it's not going right, go left.
Okay.
Right?
I like that.
And I think that relates to you. Like, if things in your life, are just, happening over and over and over again, take what Kastriot said and, you know what? Choose the left side. Go opposite of what's been happening for so long. If you keep seeing that things are not going right for you, choose another direction. Go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
Miguelito's mantras.
Ito.
You love this.
You like that, right? Look at how Kastriot's so confused.
To go on the brand of what you were saying, I could do two, but I'll do one. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Short and sweet.
I like it.
Just like me.
So Kastriot, I don't know, is there any we could go with Gemma's gem. I like that. Give us a little quote to leave the audience with.
I hate dieting, but I love punching people in the face.
Yeah, where did that quote come from? Sorry.
Because I hate dieting and cutting weight.
It's just very literal.
So I would eat salads and I started taking these stupid selfies.
I remember.
And I would just be like, I hate dieting, but I love, and all I thought about was punching someone in the face.
Okay. I hate dieting, but I don't like punching people.
So there you have it, guys. Kastriot, we thank you so much, sir. My brother. Cool. At Greenwich MMA on Instagram. There's a lot of good specials here. So check Kastriot out. With any questions or inquiries or business opportunities. Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up, get after it.
And don't punch anybody in the face, guys. All right?
That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.